Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. DellaRocca again. I'm going to be working with you with lesson 17, which is finding how to find equivalent fractions. So we've been doing some work with fractions. I'm going to try to also put together some other videos to help you where we're using more manipulatives. So be on the lookout for those. Okay, learning about equivalent fractions and fractions in general from a workbook is kind of tricky. So we want to give you other resources to help you really understand. Okay. All right. So anyway, this is kind of reminding us what we started with last week. It says in lesson 16, you learn that equivalent fractions name the same amount of the whole. And in this lesson, you're going to learn more about finding equivalent fractions. Okay. So we start with a cake. Do you see the cake? It says Izzy's mom baked a cake. She put chocolate frosting on half of the cake. Here's the chocolate side. And vanilla frosting on the other half of the cake. Okay, so she wants to cut it into fourths, and we're going to be working down here to figure out what fraction other than 1/2 will name the amount. Okay, I'm just going to get my text box because it's going to help me answer some questions. Okay, so it says look at the picture above. So what fraction of the cake has chocolate frosting? So what fraction of the cake has chocolate frosting? Okay, so 1 of 2 equal pieces, right? So if it's 1 of 2 equal pieces, the answer would be, you're right, 1/2. Okay, it says for question B, how many equal parts should the cake be divided into to show fourths? So if I wanted 4 equal pieces, if I wanted fourths, I'm going to have, you're right, 4 equal pieces. So let's put a 4 here. Okay, now it says on the picture above, draw lines to divide the cake into fourths. Each fourth should have all chocolate or all vanilla frosting. Okay, so I'm going to get a little line. I know I saw shape. That was where it was. I got to insert line. Okay, so there are different ways we can cut this. Okay, I could cut it like a bar model and go down this way, right, to get 4 equal pieces. I could go across like this to get 4 equal pieces. I could even do some fancy corner pieces, go like from here to here, right? And from here to here, or here to here, like cut these squares that are made here into triangles. Okay, I'm going to just take the easy way and go like this. Oops. Oh, okay. So we have this line already going down. I'm just going to put that line right over where it was just so you see it a little darker. Okay? All right. Let me get my text box. So, come on now. It says, how many fourths of the cake have chocolate frosting? Okay, so now we can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. So how many fourths have chocolate frosting? So 2 pieces, right, out of 4 in all. So 2 fourths have chocolate frosting. Nice job. Okay, so question, do we change the amount of frosting when I started to cut the pieces? No, right? It started out like this. We didn't change the frosting. We didn't make more chocolate frosting and less vanilla frosting. We didn't do anything. All we really did was cut it. And so we had 4 pieces instead of 2. Okay, so the question says, did the amount of cake with chocolate frosting change? Explain how you know that half of the cake is the same as 2 fourths of the cake. So remember when we first started out, it was cut into halves. We had half vanilla, half frosting. I mean, half vanilla, half chocolate frosting. And now we have 2 fourths chocolate and 2 fourths vanilla. So what changed? Exactly. The number of parts changed, but the amount of frosting did not change. So I'm going to write the amount of frosting did not change. The number of pieces the cake was cut into changed. Okay, does that make sense? So we started out, remember, half vanilla, half chocolate. We just made this cut. Okay, I put this line here. It was kind of already there with the vanilla and chocolate. And we saw that instead of it being 1/2, it became 2/4 chocolate. But it's the same amount. It's just that we've changed the number of pieces. Okay, so it says in the last lesson, you compared two models to understand equivalent fractions. The models were the same size, but they had a different number of equal parts. You named the fraction shown in one model. Then you looked at the other model to find the fraction that named the same amount. Okay, that's what we did in lesson 16. Okay, it says you can also find equivalent fractions by dividing the same model in different ways, just like I did with that cake. The cake Izzy's mom already showed 1/2. You may have drawn lines in one of the ways below to show fourths. So this is what I did on my cake. Maybe you would have done it this way, or that fancy way I was saying with cutting into little triangles. All of them show 4 equal pieces, right? And all of them have 2/4 chocolate and 2/4 vanilla. Okay, so they're different ways. Now we also practiced doing that on a number line. So we could have shown how 1/2 and 2/4 land on the same tick mark on the number line. They're the same distance away from 0. Okay, they're halfway between 0 and 1, in fact, right? Okay, so it says, Izzy's mom now wants to cut the cake into 1/8. Explain how to figure out how many 1/8 of the cake have chocolate frosting. All right, so right now they all have 4ths. So let me get my drawing tool. I'm going to go a little freehand. So my pieces might not be perfect. Okay, so I can easily make this one. Oops, well, maybe not so easily. Let me get my eraser. That didn't come out the way I had hoped. Try again. Okay, I'm going to make my drawing tool a little skinnier. All right, so I want to make this going straight this way. Not so straight. Oh my, maybe I'll just get my line after all. Okay, so let me get my shapes and get a line. Okay, so I'm going to go this way to make a line. Now look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I could cut down this way on these to make 8 pieces. Okay, and I guess I would have to kind of go this way to make 8 equal pieces this way. All right, on a number line, right now I have 4ths. I can divide my number line and make halfway points between those to make 8 equal parts to show that this is 0/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. Okay, so let me move that here. So let's go back to the question. It says, Izzy's mom now wants to cut the cake into 8ths. Explain how to figure out how many 8ths of the cake have chocolate frosting. So now how many 8ths are going to have chocolate? Let's look at our models. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4/8 will have chocolate. Okay. So, and that will be equal to, that's right, 1/2. Okay. So let's see how we're going to phrase that. What did we do? We divided, let's say she can cut the cake into 8 equal pieces. So how many 8ths did we say? Yep, 4/8. I'm going to write it in word form. Will have chocolate frosting. 4/8 will have vanilla frosting. All right. And we also divided up that number line as well. Okay, so I'm going to break up this week's work in just 2-page sections just to make it a little easier. Okay, so that will be all for right now. I will see you next time going on to pages 176 and 177. Okay, nice to see you.